Okay, so some kind of a handle on it. It's going to be a hidden tang, obviously. It's going to fit somewhere in the region of there. I have this old pickaxe handle, which, as you can see, is broken. So, got a bit of hickory. Going to chop a piece of this off and knock a handle up out of it. Just something rough. It's not going to be pretty. It's just to allow me to use this to see if it'll hold the edge that it's taken. See how it goes. Right, mark this about 130 mil all the way around, because that's what I worked out on the drawing. Get a saw, chop it off. 40, 15. Measure twice, cut once. Now I intend to take a chamfer off there, as per the drawing. But the easiest way for me to centralize this and start making the hole that the knife is going to insert into is to do it while this is squared away. So I'm going to go and get a drill and start making some holes so that I can burn this into here. Okay, so I've marked the points 10mm up from the bottom and 5mm up from the top that I need to slot to fit the knife tang into. And what I've done is I've got this 3.2mm drill bit, which is about the same dimension as the knife. In fact, it's just ever so slightly undersized, so I'll have to heat this and burn this in and get a good tight fit. It's the last 5mm that's the kick it. Victory.
Here you've got quite an interesting demonstration of tempering colours. At the top there, the grey stuff's been heated to well over 800 degrees Fahrenheit, And then below that you come down through the pale blues, which is in the range of about 620 Fahrenheit, into the darker blues, which is around about 560 Fahrenheit. Then at 530 Fahrenheit you come into the purples, and below that at 500 Fahrenheit you get the browns, and then below that at 450 you get the straw colours. And the straw colours are a pretty standard tempering colour for knives, so I'm not tempering this at all because it's actually fairly indestructible as it is, but you can tell the temperature range the steel's been heated to in the presence of oxygen quite specifically from the tempering colours that you see.
So the handle's burnt all the way in. It's a good snug fit, so when I glue it it'll do as a test handle. But as you can see, it's a chunky little boy. So take the blade out so I don't damage the blade, and carry on with the general shaping of the handle. Okay, I left the handle purposefully chunky for when I was burning it on so that I wouldn't burn my hand, because you can still feel quite a lot of heat through this. I don't know if you noticed at the end there, but I ended up having to put a glove on. But job number one, overall width profile. Now I needed to remove my table, because this curve here essentially matches this curve here. So I think I need to put that in onto the handle, and then this tighter curve and these more subtle curves on the back. I might be able to get the subtle curves on the back with the belt sander, but more probably than not, that tight curve that goes near the front of the handle, I'll have to do with an angle grinder and hand sanding. So, time to break out, trying to break out the files maybe. I've got a rasp somewhere. I think I have a rasp. Do I have a curved rasp? That sanding belt that I broke the other day. Never throw away a sanding belt. There's always a use for them somewhere. Dun. I may call that a thing. It's kind of late. Because I shaped the handle without the knife blade in it, I've now fitted it. Just going to do a final bit of truing up before I'm actually considering making kind of a metal piece that sits between the blade and the handle, just not as a guard per se, but something just to prevent the end grade from getting damaged on the handle. I know it's only a test knife, but anything worth doing, it's worth doing well, I think. cool. That feels a lot more centralized. Everything's tweaked now, so everything's in line with the center line of the handle. Yeah. That feels much more like it. Right. Suppose next step is maybe consider making something just to clean the end of this up. Right. The knife fits very snugly top to bottom in the slot. There's a little bit of slot side to side, but top to bottom the knife is 24 millimeters. So I need to make a slot in a piece of steel, which I've already marked the center line on, 24 millimeters long, and then cut the piece off and start to shape it. So, right. See if I can mark these holes close enough together that I can get an almost continual line. Yeah, I own this drill press, but it's not, by all accounts, a very good drill press. So, get a block of wood. Okay. Got a line of holes drilled, apart from just there. There's always one that's uncooperative. I'm going to stick on some ear protection because this is going to be loud. Get a cold chisel and just break through this. You little git. As I said, there's always one bit that's uncooperative. Another brand new Dremel tool, replaced under guarantee again. If anyone at Dremel ever sees this and they wanted some product testing done, send it to me. I'll test it to death for you, literally. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so you don't fit. Okay, I have a slot, and the knife fits through said slot. And what I think I've discovered is when I measured this, I punched my holes at the ends of the line, not off the edge of the line, so that the edge of the hole was at that line. So I think I've actually unintentionally gained 2 millimeters. School by error. Mental note for next time. Okay, I need to bend this to match that little angle there. Ooh, close. Not quite. When you spend a lot of time cleaning up an edge to a hole and leaving the other side slightly raggedy, because it's the inside and no one's ever going to see it, make sure you don't do the bend back to front, because this. This might be a tiny bit excessive, but I'm just putting a nice little bevel all the way around the back of this so that the transition between the wood and this looks good. Okay, after a diversion of literally a couple of hours to make this, this tiny, difficult to fit because of the kink, non-guard, decorative piece. 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back. Have the old pickaxe handle, cut out the broken section, sand it up and try some wood finishes. Okay, got 2 sample pieces. This one I'm going to stain, and this one I'm going to stain too, but I'm going to try and char it first. So, stick that there, get burning. Okay, I've got one cleaned up piece, but this piece, you can see I've char blackened it just to bring out the dark graining. So I'm going to stain them up. Don't need a lot of bitumen to the white spirit, because essentially you want to stain it, you don't want to paint it with bitumen. So, see, if you just leave it sit on there, it can go very, very dark. Just need to give it a few seconds to soak in before you wipe it back with a rag. Let's just give this a little wipe. Now, I quite like that. It only took a few seconds of scorching to get the grain to show, so whatever happens, have to be very, very gentle with the blowtorch. Yeah, that's much richer. You can see a lot more of the graining. I think I may have to go with this. Yeah, try and do this while it's still warm. Get a coat of bitumen. I need gloves. May quickly give this just a second little rub down. whatever you do, don't try reheating this or drying it with a blowtorch, because it'll go up like no one's business. You can kind of butt this stuff in as well, it dries so quickly. And then if you get any patches you think, that could be a little bit darker just there, just give it a few seconds to sink in, and you buff it over again. And incidentally, also what I have knocking around here is, well, it's going hard, I've had to try and rescue it, beeswax, which I've mixed with a bit of vegetable oil and bitumen and white spirits to make a dark wax. So slot that on there. I can take my hand marks out. Couldn't do this with the bitumen, obviously, because it runs like no one's business because it's oil based. Got a little bit of oily bit. I don't know if you can see now that got quite, oh, focus on the right thing, stupid camera. Quite a rich, deep, dark colour on that old handle. Got some excess wax still on there. There's a bit of a pale patch, so I'm going to leave that dry and then wipe that back, and then a little bit of a rub down with some oil, and that should be nice. Okay, so glue, mallet, water to cure isocyanate glue, knife handle, kind of pseudo guard end piece thing, cotton bud to spread the glue. So you can glue this up and leave it dry overnight, and just kind of getting to the end. Nearly finished. Just want to make sure that I've got a good layer on the tang, so that I'm definitely sure that it's never coming off. Stuff water cures, so get some water in the handle. Shake out any excess. Right. Before I leave this for this evening, give it a quick rub down with a bit of vegetable oil. And probably help any excess glue that does foam out come off as well. So yes, now come back to this in the morning. Well, the glue's dried overnight, and give this a little wipe. Survived me dropping it on the floor like an idiot, which is probably a good sign. But here we are, the finished article. I have a little bit of a whoop where I identified that the improvised tools that I have had some issues when I started. The other side's quite clean though, and I sorted those out. So you can actually improvise quite a lot of your tooling. You don't need big expensive knife grinders. But let's get a bit of scrap wood. Works reasonably well. I don't know how the edge is going to hold up over time. I suppose that was the point of this entire project, but in a nutshell, this is evidence of the fact that when you're testing and playing around, you don't know necessarily where it's going to lead you. So here we have it, the unintentional knife. If you enjoyed watching me make this, then please press the like button and subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in the future. The unintentional knife.
Big